Welcome to Washington in Focus. I'm Brett Davis. Joining me today is the Center Square's Western Washington reporter, Spencer Pauly. You recently authored a piece headlined, Space Industry Launches $4.6 billion into Washington State Annually. That $4.6 billion figure comes from the Puget Sound Regional Council. So how many jobs does that support in Washington State?
So the space industry in Washington creates over 13,000 jobs and counting. I believe the latest information I got is that there's more than 1,000 open space industry jobs left just in the Seattle area alone. That was as of May of 2023.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. So Washington State plays a prominent role in the space industry, it turns out. Why is that the case? And you give us a little bit of detail about what projects Washington State is involved in?
Sure. So Washington State is considered to be well positioned to lead in satellite manufacturing, launch vehicles, and commercial space stations. What this means is when next time you see mankind reach over to the moon, it's more than likely that the machines doing this will have come from King County and just the state of Washington. Now, for instance, NASA's Artemis program, which is to land on the moon within the next 2 years. They have 42 suppliers in Washington State. We can look at commercial space operations. For instance, Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin's space exploration company has its headquarters in the city of Kent. They were tasked by NASA to build a human landing system, quote unquote, for the Artemis program. And this supports 1,000 jobs as well. And if you know Elon Musk's company, SpaceX, they lease a building in Redmond where they build at least 30 Starlink satellites a week. You know, people think of Cape Canaveral and Houston when it comes to NASA's operations, but now you're going to have to look over in the Puget Sound area to see where a lot of the dirty work is, you know, construction, manufacturing of this technology. Now, there's been, let me say this, out of this world projections for the future when it comes to the space industry. We're looking at $900 billion to $1.1 trillion by 2040.
Now, is that for the whole nation or just Washington State?
For the whole nation, but I think you'd say Washington would get a good slice of the pie there.
Get a good chunk out of that.
Oh, yeah. These estimations are linked to, substantial increase in satellite broadband internet service providers who are expected to dominate space-related services over the next 20 years.
So basically, this is a growing industry.
Something like that. That's the best way you could say. You reach for the stars.
Right. All right. Well, we look forward to probably some future reporting on this, given all these amazing space projects and going to the moon and whatnot. So kind of cool to know that Washington's involved to such a big degree.
I will add this, Brett. There are other firms in Washington that are still exploring building new launch systems for space operations. This includes Radiation Aerospace in Renton, Stoke Space, which is from Kent, and then Wave Motion Launch Corporation in Everett. So there are even more space companies that are based out here in the Puget Sound area.
Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com. For Spencer Pauly, this is Brett Davis. Please subscribe and thanks for listening.